Hi everybody, welcome back to another CYT-Crypto episode. My name is Stephen Aitchison and today we're going to do a spotlight on Ethereum. I think Ethereum is going to be huge and I cannot emphasize that enough. I know I've said it loads of times in the past, but I'm going to say it once more by doing a 10-minute spotlight. Okay, Ethereum, what's going on? So we know Ethereum 2.0 is coming up. We know there's going to be a transition from Ethereum 1.0 and that's going to take place. Well, there's a couple of ways that's going to take place. It's going to take place through sharding essentially, and that's like sharding. How do you explain? Okay, sharding. Where did I can't remember where I heard it. Sharding is kind of like going along the motorway, and you've got lots of different roads going alongside you, so it kind of speeds up the transactions. So that's what sharding is like. So it's not just one kind of road that a transaction is taking place. It's taking place across lots of different roads. So if you think of a transaction as a car along one stretch of a motorway, along one lane of a motorway, obviously if there's traffic in front of it, it can slow the car right down. It could slow you to a stop. But if you've got lots of different lanes, plus tens, hundreds of different lanes, and it takes on the mantle of where your car is going as well, then it can speed the whole process right up. So transition from Ethereum 1.0 to Ethereum 2.0, which is called Serenity, I'm just trying to give you a very brief overview of what's happening just now, is happening just now. Serenity is kind of just happening just now, but we still have to transition over from ETH1 to ETH2 as well. If you've got 32 Ethereum tokens, you could stake that. So you could send your ETH1 tokens over to ETH2, which will be coming up, and you can stake it, and that it has to be at least 32 tokens. Otherwise, we'll be able to. There's not going to be a problem transferring, but it's all going to transition quite seamlessly through sharding as well. But this is on the ethhub.io. If you look at ethhub.io or docs.ethhub.io, you'll see all this as well. And I'll put a link to this down below as well. But there's a lot of things coming up. It's not just about staking. So they're moving from a proof of work to proof of stake. This is a kind of system they're going to be using. And that's coming up soon, otherwise kind of known as Casper, but they're kind of putting that into ETH.2 as well. So that's coming up. It's not going to happen overnight. So we're not going to get ETH 2.0 next week or the week after. But Vitalik Buterin does say it does want it as quickly as possible, and they're trying to push that through. And Ethereum got a huge development network team, and people are joining that team all together, loads more and more all the time. So they've got a huge team going on just now, a development team, and they're really working on it. And I think it could be, it's going to be, I think it's going to be amazing once kind of ETH 2.0 really gets into place, or Serenity comes into being. So we've spoke about shard chains, we've spoke about that as well. I think that's what's going to speed the whole kind of network up altogether. So we're talking about scalability. Sharding brings the scalability to Ethereum. Or it does, part of it does as well. We know about, we've got the upgrade, the EVM. This phase will endow shards with EWASM as EVM as well. And what else? So there's a lot more going on than just kind of staking as well. So it's going to speed up the whole kind of network there as well. So each shard will manage a virtual machine based on EWASM. So EWASM basically is kind of future-proofing Ethereum, if you will. So it's like kind of quantum computing. It's getting into the realms of quantum computing. So it's going to future-proof going forward. It's going to future-proof Ethereum as well for quantum computing, if you will. It's kind of that's how I understand it. So from that point of view, it looks really good. I'm talking about the network itself, looks really good. So staking, I was just kind of looking at staking as well. You're not going to get much for staking. I think it's going to be about, is it 3% or something? 3.44% roughly adjusted rewards for that as well. But still good if you want to stake, and that I think is going to have to be higher if Ethereum kind of are looking to get more and more people to stake as well. So a lot of people have kind of Dash, it's like a masternode. If you think of masternodes as kind of staking, it's very similar to that. If you think about it that way, a lot of people have Dash, and if you can have bought Dash masternode way back in the beginning, you'd have a lot of money just now. But we're not at the beginning for Ethereum. This is not the beginning of the story for Ethereum. So it's going to be, it's not going to be quite the same rewards that you're going to get, but we're still having staking on it as well. This is something I find really interesting. This is why, this is the kind of crux of kind of why I think Ethereum is going to explode. The DeFi space, I'm just going to look at the DeFi space just now. I didn't bring it up. I was looking at it somewhere else and I kind of lost it. But the DeFi space itself is, we know it's going to be huge. There's loads of people talking about the DeFi space. We've got DeFi Pulse kind of talking about it. We've got 884 million total value locked up in the DeFi space just now. That's the highest it's been. I think this is the actual highest. January 31st is the highest. And you can see Maker has 511 locked up, 511 million locked up, and it's on the Ethereum chain just now. You can see if you go down, all this is kind of locked up, but it's all on the Ethereum. Most of it's on the Ethereum chain. Lightning Network there, 8.3 million on the kind of Bitcoin chain. Well, so the top 20 essentially are on the Ethereum chain. DeFi is going to dominate 2020. DeFi is going to dominate 2020. However, if we look at other uses for blockchain and underlying the Ethereum network as well, Swiss firm poised to launch compliant IPO on Ethereum blockchain. This is from Cointelegraph, and this is from a couple of days ago actually. This is what I was going to report on yesterday, but didn't. So Swiss regulators have given the go-ahead for what's purportedly the country's first fully compliant initial public offering on a blockchain. Overture will launch a compliant IPO and offer ordinary Class A shares natively on the Ethereum blockchain using smart contracts provided by Zug-based Eurodax on the Ethereum blockchain. An IPO. This is a hybrid kind of model, if you will, for traditional finance and kind of decentralized finance, DeFi. This is what's happening just now. This, and I think there's another one, INX, and there's details still to be kind of told about that as well. But this in and of itself could be huge for Ethereum. This alone could be huge for Ethereum. Another thing as well that could be huge as well is this is a slice of prime Zurich real estate sold on the blockchain. So this was a couple of days ago as well. A building on Zurich's most exclusive shopping street has been converted into a blockchain-powered investment following a CHF 130 million, which is $134 million sale, is the latest attempt to unlock the value of bricks and mortar using digitally coded tokens. Essentially, tokenization. Now, a lot of people aren't kind of really talking about tokenization much because we're all focused on the DeFi space, but tokenization for Ethereum as well could be absolutely massive. And I don't think it's going to stop with real estate. I think what is going to happen in tokenization, what we're going to see more and more, if you think about your favorite football team or a soccer team or kind of American football team, if you think about, imagine you're trying to get a couple of the best players in the world. You want to bring them to your team, but your team can't afford it. Imagine if all the fans got together, tokenized that player and just said, okay, if we like an IPO, you're kind of raising something like that, or an ICO or something, you have to raise, or a Kickstarter kind of project, you have to raise a certain amount of money. But if you raise enough money to buy this player for your club on a smart contract, as a smart contract and on the Ethereum blockchain, you own part of that player. So you're tokenizing a player. Just now, that sounds a terrible way to say it, but essentially that's kind of what it is. It could be something like that. So I'm thinking sports could be really, really big for tokenization, and even books could be good for tokenization in the publishing world as well. I've been thinking, because I'm kind of doing that just now. I'm in the middle of self-publishing a book. I'm just kind of edited, so I'm going to self-publish a book. But tokenization of a book, a contract, if you will, as well, instead of the normal publishing industry, could all go onto the blockchain, and different publishing houses are going to offer you kind of money for your book, or you could get fans tokenization of your book as well. They own a part of that as well, and the value goes up because of the scarcity of the actual coin for that particular book or that particular series or something. It just kind of blows your mind when you start to think about tokenization and where it could go. The real estate is one obvious one, but I think tokenization of people, as strange as it sounds, I think is going to come more and more to the fore. I don't think I've seen any news stories about tokenization of people. There probably is, but I don't think I've seen any. But I see that coming. Maybe not 2020, but I see the tokenization of people coming very, very soon as well. So look out for that. But it'd be interesting to see your thoughts. What else could be tokenized? You could have anything kind of tokenized as well, if we think about it. Anything that we kind of buy, we could have a tokenized car as well. Just, I don't know why you'd have a tokenized car, but there's just lots of different ways that tokenization could come into play, and a lot of people are not talking about tokenization, but it could be extremely huge. So that, IPOs and the traditional finance world coming in, the stock markets being held on the Ethereum blockchain as well. Imagine all the shares being held in blockchain, or all your shares being held in blockchain, so you don't have to kind of hold paper shares. A lot of people still hold paper shares, and you don't have to do any of that. But just thinking about if everything was to transfer over to the Ethereum blockchain, how much more valuable Ethereum will be. Now, they could use another network. They could use another network. They could. I don't think that's going to happen because Ethereum is so established, and they've got a huge network of developers as well. So I think this is why we really have to look at it just now. I'm going to look at the fundamentals just now. I know I've kind of gone on a wee bit. And you'll know a lot about kind of Ethereum as well. A lot of people know about it. It's $182 just now. Market cap is 19 billion. We have had a market cap of 130 billion before. And Ethereum's moved on. What was market cap? We were talking about January 17th, 2018. We're now 2 years. 2 years ago that was. Now, we've kind of, Ethereum has changed so much over the space of 2 years, and the end of this year is going to see much bigger changes as well. So this market cap of 19 billion going up to 130 billion, you're talking about 7x? 6.5x from here. This is why I think it's really wise to put your money or start accumulating Ethereum. It might not happen overnight, but I think 2020 is going to be the year that Ethereum really starts to take off. And I think 2-3 years time, you're talking $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 for Ethereum. I just think it could be really, really big. So I would start looking at it. Do your own research. Start looking at it as quickly as possible. I'm starting to do it. I'm building up, and I'm buying half an Ethereum here and there, one Ethereum. I'm just as much as I can, as much as I can afford as well. So that's my thoughts on it. I just think the potential for the Ethereum network is going to be huge. Not taken away from Bitcoin. I still think Bitcoin as a store of value is going to be huge, and I'm still got a lot of money into Bitcoin for my pension fund as well. But Ethereum, I'm starting to focus on more and more as well. And when you're talking about risk, if you're talking about risk analysis, it's riskier to look at kind of small altcoins or small cap coins just now. It's riskier because there's an unknown kind of there. It could be the potential to 100x or 1000x is still there for a small cap if you're buying something at under 1 million market cap, as opposed to buying Ethereum at 19 billion market cap. The risk here is much less if you're buying Ethereum than it is a small cap. So put a lot less money into the small caps. And if you put $500 into a small cap or $100 into a small cap, and at 10x's, you've got $1,000 about 100x's, and you've got $10,000 about 1,000x's, you've got $100,000. But putting money into Ethereum as part of your portfolio should be a big chunk of your money going into that, I believe. But do your own research, put your big boy pants on, big girl pants on, all that stuff. But I think it could be absolutely massive, and just it kind of blows my mind thinking about the possibilities for Ethereum, not just for DeFi. We're not talking about just DeFi, we're talking about traditional finance coming over onto the Ethereum network as well. Okay, that's my thoughts. It's not 10 minutes. I keep saying 10-minute spotlight, but it's not 10 minutes. I know it's gone over that, but that's what I think about Ethereum. So please share this. Last one out, please hit that like button, and have a brilliant weekend. Until next time, namaste. Take care. Bye now.